Hi, I'm Jamie Lee, and I'm the CFO of the Carroll organization. Well, I gained a lot of great institutional experience working for large global real estate owner and operators in the past. That really contributed to my success at Carroll. At Ernst & Young, my primary client was a global owner operator of real estate, and at Morgan Stanley, I worked on the finance team for a large international real estate investment fund. And those roles allowed me to gain a lot of experience in learning how institutional processes and procedures should work at real estate owner operator companies. But ultimately, I wanted to be closer to the real estate transactions and management practices so I could have a bigger impact on creating that value to investors through real estate investments. Well, there were definitely risks in leaving a Fortune 100 company to come to a company that was more in growth mode. But with those risks came greater opportunities to have a bigger impact on what we were doing here. And it was exciting to me to be a part of the growth that Carroll was experiencing. When I joined Carroll, there was a great infrastructure in place and an operating platform that had been established with a lot of great people. The problems I was looking to solve initially were to institutionalize the processes and procedures and put in best practices that you would find at a larger global institutional real estate firm. Well, I knew that people and processes were the two biggest focus points. So initially, I learned a lot about what we currently had in place for both. We started identifying inefficiencies and deficiencies, and then prioritizing the items that were most crucial to the business. When I first joined Carroll, I implemented a weekly accounting department meeting for our team where we could talk about things that weren't working well, things that were working well, opportunities for improvement, and start prioritizing and setting goals first for the week, then for the month, and then for the quarter. And that's how we really began to drill into where we could improve what we were doing and how we were doing to make it more efficient. So the initial focus on process improvement really centered around improving the quality of reporting that we were providing both externally to our investors, lenders, and other third parties, as well as internally to our management team so that we had the tools to make better decisions quicker. And the keys to doing that was really to focus on automation and consistency. So automation involved some system implementations, but also process refinement to ensure that we were not only reducing the risk of error, but also ensuring that things were done correctly every time in the same way. And then consistency, person to person, property to property, that we were doing using our best practices that we had established. And that's really important in being able to scale the organization. As we grew, we needed to have that consistency so that every owner who works with us can expect to receive the same thing for every property every month that's going to meet their needs. The other thing that we did was to evaluate our service providers and make sure that we were partnering with the best of the best who could really also be consultants with us as we grew and entered new territory for Carroll. And so that involved consolidating all of our treasury management with a large global banking institution who could offer us tools that we weren't currently taking advantage of. Today, we pay the vast majority of our vendors electronically versus paper checks. So automating that process was a big step for us early on. Also working with large national firms who have expertise in real estate for our audits and tax work, and making sure that we were getting the best of the best from a service and consulting perspective there. And those things really helped us establish the framework to allow us to grow in the way we have in the past 5 years. When I joined Carroll, my team was about 10 people, and it was a very flat organizational structure. We were managing about 15,000 units at that time, which is drastically different than where we are now. So now I really focus on how to strategically stay ahead of the ever-changing environment that we live in, whether it's new accounting regulations or new trends in the multifamily industry. I'm constantly looking at new systems, processes, or best practices, and ways that we can improve what we do. A good example of that is that we recently implemented an internal audit function, and I really saw that as an opportunity to provide our investors with something that most management companies don't do, as well as identify areas within the company that we can continue to improve on. And so that was a very successful implementation earlier this year, and really helped us raise the bar for our people on what we do every day, and identify areas that we can continue to improve on and grow in. So today, the accounting finance team at Carroll is about 25 people. We've not only grown in number, but also in caliber. We have more CPAs on staff than ever, and we've really been able to better attract and retain talent within accounting and finance. Our organizational structure has gone from one that was very flat to one that has additional layers and functionality now. And that was important not only to add additional layers of oversight and review and functionality as we grew, but also to create opportunities for people to learn, advance, and move up within the accounting team. And that was a very important piece of being able to retain the talent that we were attracting. I look for people that have self-motivation and passion for what they do. And those things are very important with the culture that we have at Carroll, because we are a very fast-paced company, and every person on my team plays an integral part of what we do. And so to be successful, you have to have that self-motivation and passion for what you do every day, which most of us, myself included, do. I've learned along the way that people do their best when you give them the tools they need, but then give them the runway they need to succeed.